Hello! In this video, I'm going to talk about extraordinary standards. So if you know you're settling, if you're like, dude, I'm literally settling, like this is the really easiest way to measure. Do you go to bed at night and you're freaking so pumped and so proud of yourself because you know you tried your best and like I fail like in all my glory, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, it's not, I don't even think it's failing. I think it's learning, but I feel so proud of myself because I have extraordinary standards and I didn't like waste 10 hours like doing BS on the phone or like gossiping. I don't have regrets at the end of the day. I feel really proud is the only word that I can use, and that's a new feeling because girl, I did not always feel so proud. So yeah, you gotta stick around for this if you know you're freaking settling and you don't have like this butterflies and this excitement and you're not excited in the mornings to live your life and kick ass and live in your purpose and you're not going to bed at night like this is awesome. I like get teary-eyed and go to bed like Christmas because I'm like, this life is so beautiful and I just get goosebumps all the time. Like when I worked out today, I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. This life is so beautiful. I just feel so supported. I feel like just love coming in waves from all around, and I can trace this back to my extraordinary standards. So the first thing I want you to really get clear on and write down is settling is the opposite of extraordinary. And I think we're kind of like shoved to this idea that like a man is gonna like raise our standards. It always trips me out when women are like, and I get it, I was the woman who literally thought a man would save me. So I actually got married and I knew it was abusive because I was like, once we get married, everything's gonna be perfect. What the fuck? That is so crazy and so insane. It's just so mind-blowing that I'm like, a 5-year-old would even like be like, I don't wanna be around that person, he's scary. But it's like a woman in her 30s is like so delusional. It's just crazy. So when we know we are settling and when we have this like societal pressure that like we're kind of waiting for somebody else to either give us permission or do it for us, it really puts us in a really powerless state. And I always talk about the feminine because the only example I ever had was like a toxic feminine. It was like it wasn't a Wonder Woman energy. It was like guilty and like chasing men around and like just no standards in relationships. And that's not a divine feminine energy. That's a toxic feminine. Like, no, we don't have to freaking have a rubber arm and say yes like every time somebody asks us anything. No, we don't have to carry guilt around for not saving people. No, we don't have to feel guilty for filling up our own cup and connecting to the source. So that's what I really want to shine some light on and shine some awareness on is, are you waiting? I saw goosebumps. I know you're feeling it. Are you waiting to raise your standards when something happens to you on the outside? Like, I'll raise my standards when I get a man. I'll raise my standards when I move place. I'll raise my standards when I lose weight. You know what I mean? It's like, that's such a trip. That's like saying, oh, I'll get a personal trainer. Like I'm 100 pounds overweight, but I'll go get a personal trainer and a nutrition coach when I lose 100 pounds. It doesn't make sense. You're like trying to go from the outside in. And in any sense, if you just picture someone else, because it's always easier to talk about like another scenario, we're like so delusional when it comes to ourselves, but we're like, she's being a victim. She's totally in her masculine. You can like see it so easy with someone else. When it comes to you, it's like, no, I'm perfect. And like everybody's doing this to me. But if we see a woman who is really insecure and jealous, like super jealous, steam coming out the ears, gets crazy pants when she drinks and gets like so sloshy, like, and feels really insecure around other women and has no confidence. If we see a woman like that, are you going to be like, oh, she's a perfect match for a divine masculine king who is totally connected to the source and so spiritual and full of abundance, I have goosebumps, and so kind and compassionate and just spreads harmony. Like when he walks in the room, like you can feel the plants. I'm covered in goosebumps. I feel like I'm describing my honey. And when he I've literally I just shaved, I've got goosebumps. And when he walks in the room, like everything grows. It's like you would know that those two weren't a match. Like you would understand that a really jealous, insecure woman who doesn't love herself wouldn't match with like the man who's totally secure and completely filled up from the inside. So it just doesn't make sense that we're confused in our own life when our life reflects our standards. So the first point that I want to bring up is our life reflects what we're available for. When I was available for fighting and name calling and physical fighting and fear in a relationship, that's exactly what my relationship accepted. Nobody has a gun to our head, and we waste so much time feeling so sorry for ourselves because of our external circumstances, when in fact, it's like, if you could just take a minute to pause and not feel sorry for yourself and like snap yourself out of it, like, oh, wait, I'm available for this. Like it's so empowering, and it's a big jump and it's a big gap, but there's no dark evil force against you. And you're not the only one that is not on the law of attraction. We all get what we are, not what we want. We get what we believe we deserve, and we get what we're available for. So when I was available for living in Bali with rats and roaches, that's what I got. I was like, oh yeah, you're like poor, you're like a loser. This is, all you can deserve. And it doesn't have anything to do with money, because it happened in relationships. It happened with clients. It happened with friends. When I was available for friends who gossiped because I talk shit just as much as them, that's what I had. It wasn't a group of women who held each other up and lifted each other. So take a good reflection. And again, it's never about guilt, because guilt is just ego. You feel guilty? Well, hello, that's ego. But when we shine light on in the darkness, and when we bring things to consciousness, we can take responsibility and be in our divine feminine and be like, I'm a queen. I'm not going to settle. Awareness. The second little point highlight is awareness in capital freaking letters. So extraordinary standards. I mean, if you haven't gotten it by this point, it's a direct reflection of our inner space. Like, we don't live in a shitty house with like roommates who are like, verbally abusive because we're victims. Like, that's what we're available for. So the awareness comes, to me, awareness is directly connected to being a fucking queen, because a queen would never go gossip and be all jealous and be all judgmental. Like, a queen has self-awareness. She has self-discipline. She's not gonna like give in to every urge and like just go punch somebody in the face because they were annoying. She's not gonna make a fool of herself and lose her temper in front of everybody and just lose her fucking mind and just like, be super embarrassed after. She's not gonna get blacked out wasted and like bang her best friend's dude. Like, it's self-control and it's awareness. And again, I think I used to think that when I was like, oh, look how strong I am. Like, I'm defending my shitty decisions. Like, it was just always about a fight. And it's like, now I'm like, dude, a queen has awareness. I don't give in to every urge. I don't need to give in to every urge. Like, I have self-awareness. If I'm having a feeling, I'm like, all right, I'm so like aware, I can sit with this feeling. I don't need to go punch someone out or cuss someone out or vent to everybody or go on Facebook and like talk shit on someone or like scream at my partner or like call my mom. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I'm a queen. I can handle this. I have awareness. I have self-discipline. And it's like I have self-control. Like, we expect 5-year-olds to have self-control in kindergarten and not pinch each other. But then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds can't have enough self-control to not scream at people or to not stuff their faces when they're not hungry or to not get blacked out wasted. It's like we expect more from kids. We expect kids to have respect and not talk back and not scream and not throw tantrums and not pinch people. But then like grown women can't do it. It's just such a trip. And I behaved like a 5-year-old until I was about 37. So it's not any judgment there, but I just like, there's so many moments where I'm like, wow, dude, like I literally like a 6-year-old would have had more awareness than me at that point, because I was just I did not have extraordinary standards. I was completely settling for what I could be, what I could share, what I could feel, for my ability to be able to have some self-control and not give in to every urge. And the third point is, and the third part of extraordinary standards is never dropping my standards to match anyone else around me. So that goes two ways. Like, so many times I've heard from women, like, they're like afraid to shine. Like, but what if I make somebody feel bad if I say that I like don't have anxiety anymore and I'm happy? I'm like, that is so weird. I'm like, would you rather read about a hero's journey where a woman took responsibility, even though she was like at rock bottom and suicidal, and then like took responsibility, and even though it was hard and she wanted to quit and it was scary and she had trauma and, you know, she had to like go through the hero's journey, but she did it anyway. She didn't quit. She didn't give up. Wouldn't you rather hear about that? Or would you rather hear about a total victim energy that's just so dog shit? No, like dog shit standards, not extraordinary. That's like gossiping and blaming everybody and like spreading hate. Like, would you rather listen to the hate or the harmony? And they're always like, harmony. And I'm like, so what inspired, especially with my clients, I say, what inspired you to know that you could like actually make a change? And they're like, hearing your story and hearing that you did it. I'm like, so you're saying that by me having extraordinary standards and like, you know, keeping them up and not shrinking down or clipping my wings, you're saying that helped you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so that's the first part. And the second part of this, which is so amazing, because I grew up in a family with no communication. It was just fighting. It was like either we all got along perfectly, which was like 1% of the time, or it was fighting, and it was screaming and hollering and punching and fist fighting. Like, it, obviously I didn't just marry this randomly. Like, that's what I grew up with. I was really used to that really chaotic, toxic, hectic, physical, you know, craziness, chaos. Chaos to me was normal. That was my baseline. I was like, oh yeah, chaotic, like screaming, abuse, punching, like that's totally normal. So, one of the reasons I do feel so proud of my extraordinary standards, because I didn't think that you could learn this. I just like thought, I was like, oh, I'm just like one of the psychos that like I'm just like a perfectionist, or I'm just really strong. I'm really strong. It's like, no, you fought everybody. And as soon as I felt like rejected or triggered or attacked, which was all the time, because I felt like I wasn't good enough, so then nothing even needs to really happen on the outside. When you walk around the day feeling like you're not good enough, then everything proves that. So just a really quick example. It's not if people drop their standards, because most people are living in a state of unconsciousness and in their head. So there's a lot of like projection of I'm not good enough, and that's judgment and negativity. So when that happens, when a woman is in her head and when she doesn't love herself and she believes she's not good enough and she projects like, you know, anger, resentment, or judgment, to me, like on a Facebook post or YouTube or email list, or after, one of these videos or whatever, and sends like a full message that's like not loving, name calling, attacking, nothing to do with the truth. It's just a reflection of her internal state. I don't then drop my standards and be like, you psycho, like you're such a bitch, like you're a bully. Like, I don't have to do that, because it's not my fight. She's just fighting herself. So I used to waste all of my energy fighting the external, like, oh, really? You said this about me? You're not going to get away with that. And it was just so much fighting. And so now, because I'm solid, I'm like, even keeled, totally grounded in Mother Earth, unwavering faith. Write that down. I have unwavering faith, and my worth doesn't come from a woman who hates herself, feels broken, maybe is on, antidepressant pills, or is in an abusive relationship. Like, my self-worth doesn't come from what she says about me. So I don't have to drop my standards. So I don't have to send messages. I don't need to fight back. I don't send messages back. I don't answer, because I don't need to drop. Like, that's a personal decision where our standards are. She's choosing her standards, her dog shit ones. I'm choosing mine. No one is superior. That has nothing to do with it. It's not superior. I'm not going to drop my standards and then fight and then blame her when I'm doing the same thing. That's like so crazy, right? We go around pointing like, you're ruining my life. And it's like, hey, wait, your behavior is like a complete mirror of theirs. How are they the bad one? It's such a trip. So I feel so proud of that in situations, because again, I don't react. Like, that's not what a queen does. Like, a queen's like, okay, let me process this. Like, of course I don't celebrate. I mean, like one of my prayers is like, if every woman just like drops in and knows that she can have extraordinary standards, and she would freaking ask for my help, and then we would be like so many more queens. So it's not even like a negative. Like, I don't even have to be like, sure, like the guy from Home Alone and like, fucking bitch. Like, that's not how, it's nothing to do with me. I feel so proud at the end of the night because I don't need to. Like, I'm never going to fight someone back on Instagram or YouTube, or like, it's not like a fight. Like she's having her fight and I'm having my trust, my unwavering faith, and my harmony. So if you are ready to take this to the next level and you're like, holy shit balls, Lani, like extraordinary standards, I'm dog shit. I am totally settling. I don't have any self-control. I get super angry if someone fights with me. I react and fight back like an eye for an eye, Old Testament. And you're ready to like really learn how to queen up, how to raise your standards to extraordinary, and you're open and ready because it's so fun. It's not a fight. It's a beautiful personal choice, and it's amazing. Like, it's freedom. Nobody else can hurt you. When you have unwavering faith and extraordinary standards, you're good. Like, you're already full, so everything else just becomes an abundance. Then you've got to come to my free online workshop. It is brand new. It is bomb. It is epic. It's amazing. It will change the game for you, and it'll be literally one of the most powerful things you've done for yourself, for sure. I've had women message and be like, I got out of like a 10-year abusive relationship after the workshop. I just got goosebumps. So ain't no foo-foo. I'm not going to be like, oh, just like meditate. I'm going to give you some actual solid, tangible steps that you can use right now. They're the ones that I use that have, turned me into this really extraordinary queen that you see sitting in front of you. It's just because it's a practice and it's a habit. So it is so bomb. I'm going to give you the 5 steps that you need. So we're going to be able to totally release guilt and finally feel love and truly live into your purpose. So if you're settling now and you're ready for extraordinary standards and to live up to your full potential and go to bed proud and feel like Christmas and just like get teary-eyed and goosebumps and then wake up excited and know like you're in control of your energy, like your life is a reflection of what you accept, and you're just ready to accept badass epic queen shit, then come to the workshop. The link is in the description. Get your bum in there now, sis. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the workshop. You.